Greetings fellow captains and welcome back to another World of Warships video from the Hive Hound, and today we're going to be looking at the Creatorverse controversy that seems to have been absolutely plaguing our community over the last week or so. So I'll be honest with you, I had a busy week last week and content really was the last thing on my mind, but I've been keeping up with the community, sitting back, reading Facebook, Reddit, watching some YouTube videos from other content creators, and oh my god, the levels of salt, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely insane. Now, I'm going to be honest, my first impressions of the Creatorverse thing wasn't particularly good, but again, with a little bit of hindsight, more than 30 seconds of thought put into it, all of these comments suddenly appeared to become more and more unhinged and more ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong, I initially said wargaming could really do with giving content creators, their own content creators, a bit more love. And I'm not talking about CCs, I mean everyone that creates content in general. And many of us have been supporting this game for, going on 4 or 5 years at this point. To the extent I do completely understand the slap in the face remarks, and that it should have been our CCs, not these randoms. But from what I can tell, the Moist Critical is the only actual one of these content creators that had any sort of form of enthusiasm about the collaboration, partly because his dad appears to be a bit of a hardcore World of Warships PC player. So I'm going to go a bit hard on some of the comments that I've seen in videos and on posts. And if this upsets anyone, to be honest with you, I really don't care. These are my thoughts alone. If you want to change my mind, or even if I've changed yours and you want to have a grown-up conversation, we can do that. I'm very open to it. So we're just going to go through like the main ones. Right, okay, so point 1. It should have been RCCs. Okay, so first off, this is a collaboration for both PC and console, so let's be real here. This is a marketing campaign. The game's almost 5 years old on console, it's like 11, 12 year olds on PC, and the collaboration spans both versions. So a bit of context, so in the first year that Legends came out, we had 26 CCs added to the programme. Only 7 of those are left, right? There's Spartan, Mark aka White, Aldavosh, Fat Guy Gaming, High Fire, Tactical Angel, and myself. Spartan being the biggest one out of us by a margin, and recently coming back to a long hiatus to the CC program after the drama which happened a while back now, and we're all absolutely eclipsed by the PC CCs. And well, like they've gone down that road before. There's obviously on PC there is a collaboration with a content creator, Commander Dick Jingles, and how did that work out? Yeah, that's right, he quit the program because of some serious misdeeds on Wargaming's part that was very public. So even though I doubt very much of it is directed specifically to myself, it should have been our CCs. I do appreciate the support and I do feel the love from the community, but no Spartan, no PG Rapids, no Hive Hound collaboration is going to draw new players into the game, and that's what this is all about. Yes, we've had players that have been around going on 5 years, but we have a lot that didn't stick around. I remember, it's in one of my videos, to be honest with you, I can't be bothered to dig it out. I'm sure if there's any internet historians out there that want to have a go. I did make a video a couple of years, maybe a year or two back now, it's probably more like 2 years, where I found the downloaded data for World of Warships Legends, and it had been downloaded between PlayStation and Xbox over 8 million times in the first 18 months. We certainly don't have that number of players now. It's a free-to-play game. Churn of players is to be perfectly accepted. I did, however, find an article on World of Warships statistics, and console literally gets a line mention. Key notes are that the average player they have over 30 million downloaded or activated player accounts. The average age of the player is 20 to 35. PC is ranked 89th on Twitch as the most watched game category. And at the time of writing, so specifically right this particular minute, there are 1.5 million followers of World of Warships. 1,300 currently watching. Legends has 39,000 followers and 18 watching. So you can see the disparity right there. We are very much a niche community, and bringing in new blood is really important. You want more ships, you want more maps, more modes. We need more players, and a lot of them. So that'll tie me along neatly into, well, where are all of these new players? Well, they're there, but they're down to tiers 1 to 5. Okay, I started a new account. One, I wanted to check out the new intro and new tutorial to have a look at that. And in the first 20, it's either 20 or 25 battles, they are filled with new accounts and bots only. Like you can play tier 1 right now and you'll get into a full lobby or a fullish lobby. You won't with a new account. You will have only other new accounts and bots to make up the numbers into full matches. You're not actually introduced to the real player base until you hit level, I think it's 10, and even me, with my experience, it took me about 20-25 battles. I did keep a tally of names that I'd seen, and there were at least 100 new players, and I was playing like early hours in the morning, GMT, which is, I think, a particularly quiet time. And trust me when I say they're new accounts, because my new account has a 9.75 kill death ratio. So yes, there are definitely new players coming in, but no, you're not seeing them because you're not playing low tiers. All these new players, point 3, sorry, all these new players are just going to buy a tier 8 ship and ruin our games. So just wait a minute, just hold on. Isn't one of the most common complaints we tend to see from people being how bad the player base is? A bunch of grown children complaining about their losses and blaming them on somebody else's fault. So doesn't this problem in your own minds already exist? Like, what's the difference? And what ships are the other collaboration skins tied to? They're tied to Tech Tree Tier 5 ships. Yes, of course, they can, and there will probably be a small percentage of people that will come in and buy out the campaign or buy out a nice premium ship from the store, but you're not going to have fun in Tier 7 or Tier 8 when you've only had like 10 matches under your belt. Okay, what's going to happen is that they're either going to quit the game or they're going to go back, grind out, and then get repetitively ruined at the high tier gameplay. It's just not going to be a fun experience. So yes, almost a valid complaint because of the small percentage that will do that, but they're not going to be there for long, and they're either going to quit or they're going to go back down. None of the YouTubers mentioned this game, which is point number 5. And did Transformers give us a shout out? Are we in the Bumblebee movie? Has Azura Lane got their little anime girls playing World of Warships in one of their recent episodes? That long pause was because the obvious answer is no. That's not entirely how collaborations generally work. But did they work? Is there a not insignificant collective of anime fans and weebs? Well, sure, you may not know them, you may not hang around with them, you may not play with them, but they clearly exist because we've had multiple waves of Azura Lane. If it didn't work, they wouldn't have bothered doing another one. We've also had some other anime crossovers as well. So step back in time with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back a couple of years ago, 6 to 10 years ago, whenever every kid that you knew or even if you were a kid at the time, was playing Call of Duty, Nadeshot was huge. Yes, he doesn't do gaming content now, but he's retained that fan base. So that fan base is now older, and those 10-year-olds, yeah, and those 16-year-olds are now in their 20s, 30s, some of them even possibly in their 40s, which is the exact target audience of World of Warships. Like, it literally says the average player age is 20 to 25. So you can see, although it's like, well, he doesn't play games, but yes, he doesn't, but his audience are kind of perfect. Like, ripe for the picking, so to speak. That is the target audience, and the average player of this game is their audience. Now, am I saying that World of Warships Legends is going to get 30 million new players from this? Obviously not. There's a percentage of the player base. Let's say 10% of them are actually oh, warships, you know, because they've been mentioned, they've seen them in an advert, or they've, you know, seen the wargaming collaboration details. So let's say 10% of the 30 million, that's 300,000. Well, how many of those are going to be on PC? Like 2/3, let's say. So 200,000 might go and download it on PC. We might get 100,000 new players. That might be a little bit optimistic, but that's where these sort of numbers lie. It's a marketing campaign. It's not for us. It's to get new players in. So can you see how it makes a little bit more sense? Like, these YouTubers, their communities are about the age of the average World of Warships Legends, World of Warships or World of Warships Legends player. So how it kind of makes sense. Like, I get it. It's not designed for us specifically, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. So I am going to finish off with a little bit of devil's advocate, shall we say, that I genuinely understand the frustration. I just think it's a little bit misdirected. There is so much more stuff I would like to see to come to Legends. I'd love to see more maps, more game modes. I'd like to see convoys and you know, the AI battles that PC has, more and more ships. But we need more players and more development money and more development time for these things to happen. And let's be honest, we're catching up with World of Warships PCs really fast. I understand the average player and the average player on Legends will be the same as the average player on PC. You might have, you know, 60 to 100 ships. You tend to play the ships you like. A lot of people will sell the lower tier stuffs. On World of Warships Legends, we currently have over 500 ships in the game. And I had a look, and we're only actually missing a handful of the tier 10 ships. I compared tier 10 to legendary. So out of the battleships, the only things PC have got that are battleships that we don't have are Kremlin, Slava, and Thunderer. There's 3 battleships, that's it. From the cruisers, there's the American Brennan, British Goliath, the Hindenburg, the Kitakami, the Moskva, the Puerto Rico, the Smolensk, and the Venezia, which is the Italian. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 cruisers that we're missing. And from the DDs, we're missing DDR-10, Grozavoy, Harugamore, Lapland, Marseille, and Vampire 11. And then the aircraft carriers, Audacious, Roosevelt, Richthofen, and Voss. And I kind of get that many of these are Russian ships. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what the deal is. It's purely speculation. But it might have something to do with international sanctions or something of the like because of the current conflict. And all the Russian CCs got removed. So I'm assuming there's some sort of global politics involved in this. But that's not really something that I want to try and speculate or guess on too much. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts on this whole matter. Hopefully we can finish crying our rivers, build a bridge, get over this nonsense, and carry on and go about and hopefully enjoy our day a little bit more. So thank you very much for stopping by. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and of course, until next time, take care.